Alright, hello there everyone. We're going to take a look at the official results of the city council slash district attorney races. We had two district attorney races last night, one in the Bronx and one in Queens. And of course, we're going to go over a couple of primaries for city council. So first things first, let's get right into my priority, which would be a normal circumstance in a normal year, which is district attorney in Queens. So first things first, we're going to look up the district attorney's race in Queens and give you the official numbers from last night. So officially at 9:45 p.m. last night, New York 1 officially declared Melinda Katz the winner of the Queens district attorney's race against her two opponents, notable opponent George Grasso and Devian Daniels. Now, here's the thing for George Grasso. He will be on the ballot on Tuesday, November 7th. And you may be wondering, well, even though he lost the Democratic line, does he have a third party? Yes, he does. So you will see him on your ballot throughout the borough of Queens on November 7th, along with City Council, which, because of this redistricting mess, thanks to losing our population in the state of New York, that is why we have to have this election, which, honestly, we're not even supposed to be voting for City Council until 2025, which makes things even more agitating as it is. So the best I can, I'll probably be going back and forth between news articles. So let's read the Queen's... Yeah, this is the Courier, making sure. So here we go, qns.com. I got the right URL. Okay, so this is what the Courier is reporting. 71% of the vote, with 97% precincts reporting as of this morning. So officially, Melinda Katz held her celebration, if you really want to say it, at Joint Bully. This is on Queens Boulevard in Forest Hills. So she had most labor organizations endorse her. Nearly all of the borough's Democratic elected officials, including my councilman James Gennaro, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and more recently, pictured here, and we're going to mute her because we do not want to hear her crazy voice, New York Governor Kathy Hochul. So apparently she was in Queens last night. Oh boy, let me tell you guys. This is New York at its finest, right? So last night, Melinda Katz was quoted saying, "I thank the voters for insulating their trust in me once again, and I look forward to the general election this upcoming November," said the Queens District Attorney. "Let's continue the work." Throughout her campaign, the Queens DA hammered home the point she had proven a steady hand running the office in Kew Gardens through turbulent times, having been sworn in just months ahead of the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown. Also quoted saying last night, the Queens DA said, "I'm so proud of the work my office has done through unprecedented challenges. In the third month of my administration, the entire world shut down and my office didn't skip a beat. We continue going after every gang member, every gun prosecution, and everything that came through our office was taken care of no matter what the obstacles we're facing." And yes, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still upset with that Kew Gardens shooting, but everything else she's done, her track record's been pretty good since she became the Queens District Attorney, and I'll give her credit for that. So it says here that she worked on Queens' first ever conviction integrity unit to ensure justice for those wrongfully convicted. So here's something interesting. So Grasso was a judge, and he retired from the bench in August with 2 years remaining in his term so he could challenge the Queens DA, saying she had not done enough to address the spike in major crimes across the borough. So there you have it. Now, as far as who else she could be facing, I don't know if there is a Republican on the ballot. So, I don't think there is. So, we're going to have to keep an eye on what Grasso does the next couple of months. So, now we're going to move on to City Council. And the first major update that we do need to discuss at this time is, of course, the highly contested District 19 Democratic primary. So we're going to get into that right now. Let's go to District 19, which represents parts of Bayside, College Point, Douglaston, Little Neck, and Bayside, and certain parts of Auburndale. Not every part of Auburndale, but certain parts of Auburndale. So we have ranked choice voting. As you remembered, it was used in the 2021 mayoral race, city council, etc. At this time, the race in District 19 for the Democrats have not been called. You have Tony Avila, the former councilman, and the former state senator, who took on a highly contentious candidate, Paul Granzio, who didn't even get that many votes. And then there's Christopher S. Bay, spelled B-A-E. So, Avila has 38.97% of the vote. Christopher Bay has about 36.81% of the vote. So I'm going to read this article right here. So it's 200 votes that Tony Avila does have a lead. So here we go. He is a mere 124 votes ahead of fellow candidate Christopher Bay in the race to clinch the Democratic nomination for the Northeastern Queens District 19 City Council seat. So we don't need to go into further details. Okay, this is what we need to wait for next. The Board of Elections will turn to the voters of the lesser eliminated choices until a majority is received by a candidate. So we have to wait for the next round of the ranked choice voting to come out, which we don't know when that will be, so we're just going to have to give an update at a later time. So once this ranked choice voting process is complete and all absentee ballots are counted, the New York City Board of Elections will certify the results and declare a winner, who will then face off against the incumbent Republican Councilwoman Vicky Palladino in the general election scheduled to take place on Tuesday, November 7th. Mr. Avila said on Tuesday night, "Thank you to everybody that voted today. The results are in, and we are confident that we will prevail when the ranked choice voting process is over, and as we wait for the final results, we will continue our work to ensure Vicky Palladino is defeated this November." Now, keep this in mind. This is a swing district. Lately, this district in Northeast Queens, outside of College Point, has been leaning more towards the right recently, which is very understandable given that Vicky Palladino does have a track record in politics after a successful but yet losing 2018 state Senate campaign. As many of you know, she did win in 2021, taking on the former city councilman Tony Avila. As you all remember, Paul Malone was term limited in 2021 and could not run for a fourth term. So there you go. So this is Christopher Bay right here, who was endorsed by New York State Senator in the 18th District, John Liu, who is my state senator for Fresh Meadows. So we do know again that Avila was as councilman from 2002 to 2009, and then of course served as my state senator from 2011 to 2019, in which everybody remembers the stunning upset against the longtime incumbent Frank Padovan. So there you go. Now this is interesting. Voter turnout was noticeably low, which is very understandable given that, again, not that many people expected to take place in an off-election year, given that next year is a presidential election, which makes a lot of sense. So maybe you'll get more people voting in November, given that, again, you do have Queens District Attorney on the ballot. So we'll see how that ends up. Now we're going to move on to the race for City Council District 23, which represents east of 188th Street in Fresh Meadows. I am west of 188th Street, so therefore I'm in District 24, Jim Gennaro. So, looking at these results, Linda Lee has won. She has received 50% of the vote, and will move on to the general election. 62.57% of the vote. So we're going to take a look at the Queen's Courier article right now. Linda Lee has won. There you go. So this district represents Bayside, Douglaston, Glen Oaks, Oakland Gardens, Fresh Meadows, Hollis, and Queens Village. So there you go. There is a statement right here. So in the statement, she said, I have dedicated my life to serving our most vulnerable populations, our older adults, and our children. As your councilwoman for the past year and a half, I have worked tirelessly to secure historic funding for our schools, to support law enforcement in making our neighborhoods safer, and deliver a better quality of life for our seniors and family. I am honored and humbled that Eastern Queens voters saw through the misinformation, decisive rhetoric, baseless attacks, and negative campaigning of my opponents, and voted to allow me to serve our community. I want to thank my friends, family, campaign team, colleagues, the unions, and in-issue advocacy organizations and local supporters who helped me here tonight, because I could have not done this alone. Tonight I will celebrate, but tomorrow I'll be right back at work, building on our accomplishments and fighting for Eastern Queens residents. So I'm just seeing if she has any opponents taking place in November. So far, I don't see any Republicans on the ballot, so yeah, I'm just going to take a look to see if we're going to get into Brooklyn here for a second. So we're now going to go to the Republican side of things. So let's see if we can find, yeah, here we go. So let's go to the 44th district. Now, the reason why I'm focusing on this one is it looks like at the moment Carmen Yeager has defeated Hershey Tesler. Now you may be wondering, why am I talking about Hershey Tesler? Well, if you don't remember Hershey Tesler, throughout 2020 and 2021, he was a very vocal advocate in Brooklyn opposing Bill de Blasio's vaccine policies and COVID restrictions. So he was a very vocal voice for the 2 years. Tried running for city council 2 years ago, failed to get on the ballot. Now he's back, and this time around he's going to lose again. Okay, and let's go into District 48, which is very important. We need to bring this up here. Anna Bernikoff, 70.82% of the vote. She will move on to the general election this November. Let's see, we got District 13. So, this still has to be decided. Christine Marmarito. 20th District. I think this is Flushing, yeah. So we do have a candidate in Flushing. Excuse me. Just wish my internet would budge. Ying Tang, 43rd District. Defeated Vito Labella. And let's look at the 47th District very quickly. Eric Kagan will move on in the 47th District. And last but not least, let's go to the Bronx. It looks like right now, Darcel Clark has won in the Bronx for the Democratic field. And just want to mention that Darcel Clark is the incumbent. Now I remember. Darcel Clark is the incumbent. So she will move on. And I do remember that Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson did endorse her. So last but not least, I'm just going to read this article to wrap up this video. So Julie Wan and Tiffany Caban have won their respective primaries, and will move on to their elections this upcoming November. So, yep. Look at this. Caban won with 85.3% of the vote in District 22. So let me just pull up those numbers pretty quickly, and then we'll wrap this video up, because I do have to go into Delaware today. So let's take a look at this for a second here. Make sure I got the right numbers here. Yes, 22nd District. Okay. Wow, look at that. That is a huge margin, folks. I think there is a Republican running in that district, because I do believe Sliwa did endorse the candidate, but I'm not too sure at this time. So we'll go more into these elections this upcoming November. As far as one important note, Suffolk County, for my viewers out there, please note that November 7th, you will be electing a brand new county executive for the first time in a very long time, because Steve Ballone is not running again. He's term limited. So basically, Steve Ballone has served his 3 terms. He's done, folks. So for my viewers in Suffolk, stay informed, stay up to date with what's going on over there, because I feel really bad for you guys dealing with those red light ticket scams. So that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching, and there will be more info on the city council and the district attorney's races, along with Suffolk County executive, coming in the next few months. So until the next one, please take care.